It is a new day. It got really hot outside, so we are going to plant the very next day from the start of the video. So I want to show you a couple things I'm going to add to my bed to amend. We are going to add garden tone, and then this little concoction is bone meal and blood meal. And then when you're transplanting new seedlings, you always want to try to use this mycorrhizal, and it basically just promotes the root growth. So we're going to use that on our little seedlings. And then I've also got, let's see, I've got garden tone and biotone. Now this bed over here, we're going to make this an herb bed. It's going to have sage, basil, thyme, oregano, mint, and dill. Now I'm going to show you a trick with the mint because the mint will take over the bed. I'm going to try out putting it in a terracotta pot inside the bed, but isolating its root system to see if it won't spread. I keep forgetting to use this, so I'm going to put it right where I can see it. Now this is our nasturtium black velvet. This is what the flower looks like. If I can grab it, there you go. And I'm going to put these on the corner of a bed because I want them to trail out. They do take up a lot of room and are good trailing plants. So here's how you would use this. You'd put a little bit of your mycorrhizal in there, and it should help with that root growth. And actually, let me show you. So it's got really good root density all the way around, not too compact. And then that way, there we go. And then hopefully it'll start growing out. Okay, now in this bed, I'm gonna put some okra. And you push up with your finger through this hole and it loosens the plant. Ooh, that one just popped right out. Okay, squish that back together. And then a good way to do this is you could just add it right there. Okra wants a lot of heat, so it'll like this spot. Okay, a little okra there. This is more cucumbers. We could put cucumbers in here. This one has 4. So you could take it apart, but I'm going to leave it together. The root system's pretty wound up. Let's put our mycorrhizal on there. And what I might allow it to do is trail down, or put some kind of trellis up here as well. We have 1 Brussels sprout and some squash. As you can see, we have sage, that is oregano, push that down, dill, which I cut off and will grow back. This is basil, and it was very light bleach, so it should do better out here. Here's our mint. I've never actually done this before. Normally I would keep it outside of the container. So I'm just going to keep an eye on it. I know that it can go to seed, and if we keep it in check, it will not spread its roots outside of the pot. Also, this 360 sprayer will still access this area for water, and this is thyme. So these are all the herbs that I like to grow. Now the only thing this herb bed needs is some flowers. So we're gonna add some cosmos and some zinnias. And what I'm doing is I'm planting near an emitter hole. So even though we have this 360 sprayer, an emitter hole is going to do deep watering. Deep watering is better for the plant because it sends water down for long periods of time of watering. It is saturating the soil in a downward motion, and it encourages the root system to grow its roots downward, which is what we want to see for these plants. So we have some open emitter holes, one here, and there's probably, let's see, one back here, and we can put flowers in here. Flowers are great because it brings in pollinators, and basil also brings in pollinators, and our garden is going to have squash and watermelon and things that need cross-pollination. So let me add the flowers next. I'd like to add cosmos to this bed and zinnias to that bed. A grouping together will allow for these taller plants, especially cosmos, to be grouped together and hold each other up. So let's put them in here. And then we're gonna put some garden tone on this bed and then water it in. Watering it in because these root systems are really dry, and we need to make sure they have enough water now that they're gonna be outside in the direct sun. And we did harden these off. Here is the bone meal and the blood meal, and that is good for the plant's nutrition. And then this is the garden tone that Espoma sells. And then we're gonna water all of this in. On this bed, which is just adjacent to the herb bed right there, I'm gonna amend first. So I'm gonna put my bone meal in first. I'm gonna put my garden tone in first. And then as I plant the plants that I wanna put in here, I'm gonna go ahead and add the root growth hormone. Let me grab it. I'm going to add the mycorrhizal to this. This is that micro bliss. It creates plant, let's see. So this is really good. It tells you right here, promotes vigorous plants and root growth, decreases the amount of water and fertilizer, enables the soil to retain nutrients. So we're gonna put this in there so that it can uptake the water, take in the nutrients, grow, and not be stunted. I mixed my blood meal and my bone meal because when I was first doing those garden beds up top, I was using this quite a bit, and I thought it'd be easier to have kind of a shaker method. So I've got that. Let's put our garden tone in. All right, now before we put our plants in, let's just mix it into the soil. And this is the watering we ended up going with. We went with a center 360 and then deep drip tubes all the way around. The reason we ended up doing both is because we find that these drip tubes don't always get every plant. And if we're not always planting by an emitter hole, we need water. And so we want to make sure that each plant is getting water and is fully saturated. These are zinnias we grew from seed. I'm gonna put 2 in there and save 2 for the upper garden. Let's also take our salad out, and we can put some salad in this bed. This is our Butter Crunch lettuce. And these are those root cells from Epic Gardening, and as you can see, the plants really love it. Let's go ahead and add a cucumber. Okay, we have here, this says eggplant, hybrid Italian, so we'll go ahead and put that in there. But these look like they are beans. So let's put some beans in there. And we can put some homemade trellising in here, made from sticks, so the beans and the cucumbers can crawl up it. All right, eggplant. Okay, there's our lettuce. Our zinnias back here. This is our eggplant. We're looking for an emitter hole. This has the swelling right there, so that's an emitter hole. Okay, and I'm gonna try to keep the cucumber right kind of in the middle and the beans in this direction so that we can put some kind of climbing apparatus on these beans. All right, so we can put our cucumber right there. I have everything in the beds that I'd like to put in them today, ranging from trailing plants to beans to flowers to okra, and I'm going to walk you through it real quick. Some of the brassicas family type vegetables I don't have a lot of hopes for because it is going to get really hot, but I did put them in there. If they do bolt and go to seed, it's okay. I'll collect seed and then we'll replant them in the fall because those crops really like cold water, and we kind of got really hot here in eastern Washington really fast. So the only thing I don't have in my raised beds that I do have seedlings that grew on were tomatoes. Other than that, here's what we have. In this far bed so far, we have zinnias and cosmos. And then I amended the bed with blood meal and bone meal. And then I planted those with the mycorrhizal plant stimulator. So got those done. So just flowers over here. Everything else will need to be seed. Then we've got the nasturtium, and this is cauliflower. And so 1, 2, 3 cauliflower, Brussels sprout, okra, nasturtium. And then we've got over here beans, which I'll put some kind of little trellis for them to climb up. Probably like I trimmed some tree limbs, so maybe I'll do like a teepee. That's a cucumber I'm gonna maybe let trail out. Here's some lettuce. This is a honey melon or honeydew. These are winter squash that I'm gonna let trail out here. And then these are zinnias, and that is a winter squash. Over here, here's our mint. These are cosmos. And then these, I decided to go ahead and put cucumbers here. Again, they can trail out, or I'll create some kind of system for them to lay on or climb up, either way. And then remember, we have all of our beds there. Thank you all. It was so much fun putting these epic gardening birdie beds together. Remember, we did the wood chips, then we did the compost that wasn't composted down yet from our compost piles. Then we put dirt, then I put amendments. So those are the things that you can do. You don't have to, but that's what we wanted to do to make sure that our plants got the nutrients they wanted. Thank you guys so much, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.